Good afternoon, guys. Hope you guys are well. Just quickly bringing you a video for the pre-week analysis on USDCAD and just where I left off the previous analysis that I sent. So yeah, I'm going to do this every Sunday, or I'm going to try and do it every Sunday to give you guys a perspective for the week on the pairs that I'm trading. I'm also going to do a quick one on NAS, but USDCAD mostly. So I ended the, just check the Discord. So my previous analysis on USDCAD right here, I said I'm expecting lower prices and I'm expecting it to come into discount area on the 4 hour. Then I had this POI right here. So, but I'm going to change my analysis a little bit. So we already, I think, did achieve the 50%. So from the low to the high, yes. So we are in the 50% discount now of this little leg here. But what I'm going to look at, and what I did look at, is if I just zoom out a bit on the daily, we can see that we have a complete new leg to the upside from this low right here. Okay, well, let's just use the highlighter. Okay, so higher low and higher high. And if we use this range, then we can work out that we still need to retrace much deeper on a daily perspective. So we need to keep that in mind. Now, there is definitely a level here, but I'm not going to use this as a POI. So if I just go to the 4 hour, I'm not going to use this as a POI just because there's liquidity resting just below that. So I'm going to remove that. All right, I'm not looking at that as a POI. What I am looking at is the level just below this, where I marked this thing out. This is actually, I think, a 15 or 5 minute order block just below the liquidity. Yeah. So we can work on the 15-minute one. So right there, that is an order block. So this isn't going to be the entry one. So this is going to be a POI, a point of interest for me, where if we do have a reaction on here, I wouldn't mind taking buys, just because even if we still are going to continue bearish, right here we have an unmitigated order block and it's resting just below the liquidity. So if we can get just a reaction, just to kind of fake buyers in, we can still get a 1 to 5 on the reaction. So I'm going to look at this level, and this will be my new point of interest that I'm going to look at, and hopefully we can get a tap into there next week. Now, the other option is we're just going to break through this level and we can continue lower into a discount on the daily. So anywhere below this 50% is the discount range. And then we can also have another 4 hour POI sitting right there. I'm going to remove this. It's 50%. We understand that we're looking for 50%, and this can also then be a point of interest in the future. So for now, I'm not even going to look for sells, because we did create on the minor structure, we did create that higher high, and we might even create a higher low and continue further. So I'm not going to look for buys. What I'm going to look for is only look for buys once we get a reaction in here. And I'm not even going to look for sells, just because we might get kind of fake outs, fake buying to the upside and then melting. So I'm not going to look for sells. I'm only going to look for buys once we tap this zone, coming down into this zone. And on the lower time frame, get a nice reaction, nice impulse, and then have an entry order block where I'm going to take my entries from. So in there, and I highlighted a different color. So that would be my entry order block, and that's where I would take my position. All right. So that's the only thing that I would wait for now on USDCAD, is just for this thing to retrace, but we might even be bearish. And definitely if we break this level, if we break this low point here on the minor structure, and I think we are going to do it. If we break the structure, and even if we get a reaction, get our 1 to 5 buys, we can still basically sell it after breaking this low here. So if we get a break of the structure, we are bearish for basically the rest of the week, because there's a lot of voids in here that might get filled all the way to the lower point of interest. And on the higher time frame, we might even get a total break of structure. It's not impossible to even get a complete liquidity grab below these lows here, because there's unmitigated points sitting down here as well. So there's a lot of liquidity sitting here. So we might even get a break down into this and then create a higher low in here. So that's longer term, but for now, I am going to look for buys in the buy zone, but I'm bearish. I'm definitely bearish on USDCAD. I see it retracing, filling this voids in here. And yeah, so let's see what happens, guys. So on Nasdaq, bullish. There's a nice range, especially if we can break this high. If we can break this high right here, there's a nice little run up to the daily order block or supply zone, or sell zone, point of interest. So if we can get a break of that minor structure on the daily, then we're going to have a run up. That minor structure is a major structure on the 4 hour. So the major structure on the 4 hour is higher high, higher low, and this will only be a confirmed higher low once we break the structure level. If we do start to melt and start to break minor structure to the downside and not break the high, I would look for sells lower and even lower than these levels. So yeah, but for now we are bullish. We're in a nice run. There was a nice opportunity. We just missed it on Friday. So I was basically, my limit order was 12.010. So right there, 12.010, or that's 12.09, but that's where my limit order was, and it just missed it. But I'm definitely expecting a break to the upside on Nasdaq. And we might even retrace a bit more, but I doubt it. Like, I think we're still just going to punch through here, because we already did a nice liquidity grab with this wick to the downside, clearing orders or filling the imbalance and tapping into a daily or 4 hour order block. All right, so yeah, I'm expecting that high. So bullish on Nasdaq for the whole of next week. I might, just go intraday and look for session liquidity. So session liquidity being like, there would definitely be liquidity above here. So what I think might happen is we might have an open, and the open might push price down, and then later the day I expect this thing to rally nicely from wherever. We might even get a fill of this order block. We might even get a fill of the order block and then get a push higher. So then I would look for my entry scenarios, taking it higher, filling order blocks, and then taking entries on the order blocks on the low time frame. So yeah, let's see what happens, guys. So Nasdaq bullish, USD/CAD bearish, and I might just look for buys if we get a bullish reaction in my buy zone all the way down here. So until then, there might be selling opportunities, but just because we are in the 50%, we can have a nice bull impulse to the upside at any time. So there is possible sell entries, definitely, if we go down to the lower time frame. So let's say the 15-minute. There's a clear supply zone or order block point of interest right there. So that might actually be a level that we look at for sells. Now, I won't take an entry straight off there. I'd wait for that confirmation entry on a lower time frame once we reach that level. So there is possible sells, definitely. But now, again, if you just scroll a little bit to the upside, there's still void and imbalance that needs to get filled here. So we might even push above it and then melt. But we are in the 50%. Just keep that in mind. So we might just get a nice high as well at any time. All right, that's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something and ready for the week. Please drop your analysis on the Discord student charts. We'd love to see what you guys are looking at. And yeah, let's kill this week. So you guys, cheers.